Hi everyone. As I'm sure you can guess from the title, this is another top 10, and you all know I love making top 10s. But this one's gonna be a little different. Normally I come up with an idea, make some rules, make my list of 10, and then explain why in a hopefully entertaining way. But for today's top 10, it's gonna be a lot more personal. No rules, only feelings. Because today we're taking a look at my own personal top 10 proudest video game accomplishments. And no, not saddest, like Google seems to think. What's so unique about this one is that it covers my entire life. Some of the accomplishments on this list I did when I was 12 years old. Others I've done in the past few years. And I'm ranking them not based on their difficulty, but how proud they made me feel when I accomplished them. Number 10 will help that make sense. So let's stop blabbing and start ranking with... Yeah, you can see that little blue bastard running across the screen, and I bet just by seeing a Mega Man game on screen, you can guess what this accomplishment is. My number 10 on this list is beating not one, not two, but all 11 classic main series Mega Man games. I don't care what anyone says. Nightman, these games are hard, like really hard. Hell, just beating one of these games would be an accomplishment. But no, I beat them all. Ranking the classic Mega Man games from worst to best could be its own video because, while similar, the games really are quite different from each other. But they are all challenging. I'd say 2 is the best, even though that is a very common opinion. At least the great music made the journey bearable. As an extra note, I had considered putting Beat Dark Souls for the first time on here, and while that was very pride-inducing, I just felt like beating 11 Mega Man games was a little more impressive. Anyway, moving on to... First off, I am using a track and music that have absolutely nothing to do with this accomplishment. This incredible cover of the final boss of Banjo-Kazooie is by Family Jewels and Grant Kirkhope himself. It's amazing, and it is really fun to play on Clone Hero. You should go check out all of Jules' stuff, by the way. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. In case you're wondering why this song is playing, it's because I'm playing it here instead of Through the Fire and Flames, because copyright, blah, blah, blah. And before you even go down in the comments and start saying, but Jacob, Dragon Force said you can use their music. No, they didn't. They said you could use music from their 2014 albums onward. Through the Fire and Flames was from like 2005. It is not safe to play. I did my research. Shut your pie hole. Anyway, number 9 is beating Through the Fire and Flames on Expert on Guitar Hero 3. And yes, I know this footage is from Clone Hero rather than from Guitar Hero. Deal with it. For those of you that don't know, Through the Fire and Flames is a bonus song in Guitar Hero 3 that unlocks when you beat the final boss. In fact, the game lets you play it during the credits sequence, which is really cool. The song is also really hard, like crazy hard. It took me forever to get my skill level high enough to beat this song. And I adore the Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. I mean, really, I just love music and rhythm games in general. But Guitar Hero and Rock Band will always have a special place in my heart. A lot of the music and genres that I like to this day, I got introduced to in Guitar Hero and Rock Band. And it was interesting growing up having access to these songs that I wouldn't normally listen to, because it was a lot of the music that my grandpa listened to, and so it was a cool way for us to connect that we wouldn't have otherwise had. And yes, I do think it's cool that Fortnite tried to bring back that kind of rhythm game. If only I could get one of those guitars that works with it, supposedly. Anyway, I love music, and I love rhythm games, so beating Through the Fire and Flames will always be special to me. Okay, so you're gonna have to hear me out on this one. Back when I was in high school, Call of Duty was a different kind of game than it is now. Booting up the Xbox 360 as soon as I got home from school to play some Modern Warfare 2 was the highlight of the year for me. I met so many new friends and strengthened bonds with existing friends, all from multiplayer gaming. And Modern Warfare 2, the 2009 version, was my favorite. Hell, it was the favorite for almost everyone in my friend group. So playing this game every night with my friends is very special to me. The accomplishment here was hitting Prestige 10. What that means is I hit max level 11 times and literally cannot possibly level up anymore. That's it. Stop playing. You did it. Nothing more to see here. But of course I kept playing. This accomplishment isn't hard. It's just very time consuming. But for me, it's a reminder of all the memories I have of being young and playing with my Xbox pals every night. And now I play it on PC with my adult friends. And I think Modern Warfare 2 stands the test of time. I still enjoy playing it to this day. And guess what else? When I was gathering the footage for this video, I was playing with friends, and I got this amazing collateral shot. That means I killed 2 people with 1 shot, and that is so hard to do, and it was an accident, and I have it on video forever, and I am so happy about it. Eat shit, you 2! Anyway, moving on. This one I definitely completed at a very young age. I'd say around 9 or 10 years old. And let me explain why that's important here. If I was 9 years old, it would have been either 2002 or 2003, depending on the season. The internet was not as easily accessible or as widespread as it is today. So to figure out secrets in games required either a friend to tell you or a strategy guide. My broke ass didn't have a strategy guide, and I definitely didn't have any friends that played Crash Bandicoot 3. They all wanted to play WWE games on the N64. Anyway, the next accomplishment on this list is getting every single gem in Crash Bandicoot 3. Every gem. And that's important because there's an extra hidden gem that even takes your completion percentage above 100%. For most gems in the game, you just need to break all the boxes in a level or clear an optional hard path. There's also 5 colored gems that you can find that open up extra paths in other levels to get even more regular gems. And there's even a gem on the last level that you can only get to by having all 5 colored gems and then clearing an absolute gauntlet of pain. And you think that'd be it. You got all the gems. But no. There's one more that you wouldn't even know exists. And the only way you can get it is to get a gold relic on every single level, including the bonus ones like Area 51, and hidden ones like Hot Cocoa. Notice I said gold relics. That's because getting a sapphire relic isn't good enough. I guess I should be happy it doesn't require platinum relics. Good lord. And getting that last gem unlocks a secret ending. A secret ending that is so worth it, because you get to see Baby Cortex, and he's an absolute goober.
Give me the mask! With it I shall take over the world! Come on!
So yeah, basically 100%ing the game and then getting gold time trials on every level. It was tough. Real tough. But remember that I had no idea how to get this hidden gem, or even that it existed. I also didn't know there was a secret ending. So when I got that, I lost my mind. And to be honest, that's probably why I remember it so fondly, and why I was so proud of it over 20 years ago. Another one I achieved at a very young age. This one is extra special to me. My number 6 is unlocking TT in Diddy Kong Racing. For those of you that have been around for a while, you'll not be at all surprised to see Diddy Kong Racing on this list. And for good reason, it is one of my favorite games ever. But we're here to talk about accomplishments, not my favorite games. I'll make a video on that sometime later. Anyway, for this one, you'll need to have beaten the game and then do some time trials. But not just any time trials. No. First, you need to beat a course, and then race against TT's ghost and beat it, which represents beating TT's best time. You must do this for every single race course. And there are no balloons to pick up to get speed boosts or missiles to use, so it's even tighter than a regular race. But I did it. I beat them all, and it took me forever. And you know what? I was so excited to use TT. But it turns out I don't like how TT handles, so I literally never use him. But that feeling of accomplishment will stay with me for the rest of my life, especially since I play Diddy Kong Racing nearly once a month. This game was the first game I have memories of playing, like ever, making it that much more special to me. Ironically, nowadays I can beat TT on every race with literally no issue first try. This is one of those games that I'll actually give myself some credit on. I play it pretty well. WizPig 1 is always a tight race though. What a game! I also love the soundtrack, so here, listen to some great music for a few seconds while I find number 5 on this list. It's a lot, that's what it is. This one is basically 6 different accomplishments rolled into one, because they were all a pain in the ass and gave me a very similar feeling. Number 5 on this list is getting every achievement on Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3, as well as every achievement on Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and 13-3. Now, those might seem kind of weird to lump together as one accomplishment, and to be fair, it is weird. But my reasoning is this. They are both trilogies that juxtapose each other. And by that, I mean getting every achievement on the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy wasn't especially hard, but it was very time-consuming. On the other hand, the Mass Effect trilogy's achievements weren't nearly as time-consuming, but were very difficult. Well, relatively speaking, anyway. The Mass Effect games aren't short by any means, but you know what I mean. And I love the Mass Effect trilogy. Yes, all 3 games, they are all incredible. And I even like the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy somewhat, though I will admit that my like for that trilogy has waned noticeably over the years. Anyway, to go through every achievement in all 6 games would take forever, so I'm going to hit you with the highlights. For the Mass Effect trilogy, what made all 3 games difficult was beating them on their hardest difficulties. It is brutal. Some parts aren't too bad, but others will burn themselves into your brain with how many times you'll die trying to get through it. With the Final Fantasy XIII trilogy, it's actually pretty varied. Certainly the ones that took me the longest on 13.1 was doing all the side quests and getting every weapon. Which sounds very RPG-y, I know, but getting every weapon was a chore. Without going into painful detail, it was basically a grind for an item you can only get from a giant enemy that was very hard to kill with only a 5% drop chance, and you need fucking 6 of them, and it took me forever! Final Fantasy XIII 2 is much simpler. Well, as simple as a game with an obscene amount of time travel in it can be. Of which you will see none of, because as I went to capture the footage from the game for the video, I got as far as loading my save file when the game crashed so hard it knocked out my entire computer. But as far as the achievement goes, all you have to do here is everything! Literally everything! 100%! All 160 stupid fragments! Final Fantasy XIII 3, also known as Lightning Returns, or as I like to call it, much worse Majora's Mask with a god complex, is much like 13 2. Just clear all the side quests and super boss. Not too bad, really. Definitely the easiest of the 3. Also, I forgot how weird this game is, putting stuff from 10 and 7 in here, but no, not 8. They never put anything from 8 in any of their games. No! Always hating on Squall. Always hating on Final Fantasy VIII. Square Enix doesn't give a shit about Final Fantasy VIII. They give us a shitty remaster that didn't even get anything right and put fucking MIDI tracks in there. I swear to God, I'm gonna lose my shit! Anyway, I know that was a lot, but when I think back to my achievement hunting days in the prime of the Xbox 360 era, getting all the achievements in these trilogies is what always comes to mind. Now back to the fun stuff with... Surprising absolutely no one, of course GoldenEye would be on this list. I mean, come on. Secret Agent Jacob, it's in the name. I love this game. I love this game so much. I'd go on a 30-minute tangent about why I love this game, but that's not what you're here for, and that could honestly be its own video. So for today, let's talk about how insane unlocking the 007 difficulty is. GoldenEye 64 is not a hard game. On Agent difficulty, on 00 difficulty though, which is the hardest difficulty, if you hadn't gotten that. Oh my god, this game is brutal. And part of that, of course, is the limited control scheme afforded to the game by the very bizarre Nintendo 64 controller. But hey, if you're like me and you make it work on PC with mouse and keyboard controls, it makes the game way easier. But seriously, 00 Agent is no joke, even with better controls. Some of the levels in this game are honestly pretty easy. Some of the levels also have these auto turrets that will turn you into Swiss cheese faster than you can say,
For England, James? No.
The accomplishment that put this game on the list was unlocking the 007 difficulty. This is done by beating every single level in the game on 00 Agent difficulty, which I managed to do at like 10 years old. But there's a few things that make this one extra special, and that's why it's here on the list. The first thing that makes it special is GoldenEye 64 itself. This game was my first experience with James Bond, ever, which led to a lifelong love of a franchise, of games, movies, books, and even real-life stuff. The second, probably more relevant reason, is that I didn't know what the 007 difficulty was, or even that you got anything from beating every level in 00 Agent. I just finally did it one day, and suddenly my save file said 007 instead of 00 Agent. First of all, that's badass. Way to make your players feel like James Bond. That's awesome. And that moment will stay with me forever. One of my favorite games acknowledged me as 007 worthy. Holy shit. But wait, there's more! It's actually a 4th difficulty option. Well, kinda. As far as mission objectives and such, 007 difficulty and 00 Agent difficulty are exactly the same. However, selecting 007 difficulty brings up this extra menu for each level that lets you modify the game's parameters to your liking. Enemy health, enemy damage, enemy accuracy, and enemy reaction time. This is insane. I felt like Hacker Man the first time I got access to this menu. You can make enemies one-shot kill you, or make them deal no damage at all. You can give them 10 times the health they'd normally have, or give them no health so that they die if you fart in their general direction. Crank their accuracy up so high that they'll laser headshot you from the other side of the level. The possibilities are endless. Getting access to all this cool shit when it wasn't expected at all was so cool as a kid. And that's why the accomplishment is so memorable for me, and why it's here on this list. Or, just any excuse to play music from this soundtrack. God, I love this soundtrack. So believe it or not, this is actually the accomplishment that inspired this entire video. This is definitely my most recent accomplishment on this list, happening in 2023. Rhythm Heaven Fever is a rhythm game for the Nintendo Wii. Yes, really, the Nintendo Wii. I don't really like the Wii all that much, but you know what? I fucking love this game. I played it for the first time just a few years ago and absolutely fell in love with it. The songs, the gameplay, the humor, just everything about it is right up my alley. There is not a single bad song in this game, and I find myself bouncing along to pretty much the entire game. But there is one song that will absolutely test you like nothing else. Remix 10. This song takes parts from every single other song in the game and blends it all together into one very hard but very fun experience. And it took me several tries, but eventually I did well enough on the song to pass. But that isn't video worthy. No. For you see, the game will ask you to get a perfect score on this song. And my God, is it hard. Precision, memorization, skill, and pure nerve. It was exhilarating. And it took me countless tries, but I finally got it. And the best part is that all this happened on stream. It was months of on and off attempts, but I finally did it, and the Twitch chat lost their minds just as much as I did when I finally got it. And that made it so much more special. Seeing everyone in chat celebrating with me on that accomplishment made me feel things. And that is quite literally what inspired me to make this video. I felt so proud that not only did I beat this crazy hard challenge, but that I did it with my community. And I think it'll stick with me for a long time. But hey, this is only number 3. We still got 2 to go, so... Some of you may know this, but my favorite game of all time is Final Fantasy VIII. And yes, I know it sucks. I don't care. I love it. It was my first Final Fantasy game, and my first truly story-rich game. I have both a nostalgic and emotional connection to this game that will stand the test of time. And so, as you might guess, I know my way around the game quite a bit, including all the extra and side stuff. Like super bosses. As is tradition in a Final Fantasy game, 8 is no exception. The super boss in this game is the Omega Weapon, and he's a dick. He has a few unique moves that'll just kill your party in one shot. He'll cast moves that'll make you scream to the RNG gods, asking them why they've forsaken you. But with proper preparation and a lot of luck, he is certainly beatable. Which, of course I've beaten him, duh. And you might think, wow, nice accomplishment on your favorite game, hoo. And to that I'd say, hey, thanks, but that's not the accomplishment. Because while beating him is impressive, do you know what's even more impressive? That's right, beating him blindfolded. Holy shit, I still can't believe I managed it. It was a dumb little challenge I made for myself just to see how far I could get through the fight. Trying to navigate the battle menus just through sound, not knowing what characters you were selecting things for, memorizing the timing and sounds of Zell's limit breaks so you know what button combos to hit that you've completely and utterly memorized, and praying you get Renoa's good RNG to mitigate damage that you can't see coming. God, what a rush it was to hear the boss exploding while I was still blindfolded. Ripping the blindfold off to see my victory was one of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced. And just to swag a little bit, when I was gathering the footage that you're watching right now of the boss fight, and no, this wasn't the blindfold run. I don't have footage of that, sorry. I didn't plan on actually beating the boss for this footage, but I did it anyway! I love this game. I do. I love this game. And one day I swear I will do a full video on it, but for now, I give you this, and also one more accomplishment. The one that made me the proudest. And it's... Yes, how could it not be the perfect run? Much like Rhythm Heaven Fever, this was another one that took a lot of practice and that the Twitch community was there for. Allow me to explain what the perfect run is. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, there are 120 regular stars and 120 green stars. If you manage to get all 240 of these stars, a new secret level opens up called the Grandmaster Galaxy. In it, there is a star mission called the Ultimate Test. In it, you have to clear not 1, not 2, but 6 different zones of very hard platforming challenges. And there are tricks and traps and bottomless pits and enemies all over the place. Luckily, the game does have a little mercy on you and gives you some checkpoints throughout the level, and trust me, you're gonna need them. And this is hard enough on its own, but at the end of the level, there's a collectible you have to grab. And then once you've beaten the ultimate test, grabbed that collectible, and then stored 9,999 star bits with the bank toad on your ship, finally, the final challenge comes. And that challenge is this: do the ultimate test again. Except this time, you only have 1 health, meaning you cannot take any damage at all. And just to make it extra hard, they removed all the checkpoints. All of them. So you have to get through all 6 zones while taking no damage. And with absolutely no checkpoints, you have to do it, start to finish, perfectly. The perfect run indeed. The countless hours I spent trying and failing at this were so painful. So painful. But I got better with each attempt. And then finally, one magical day, I did it. I cleared the perfect run. And I did it in front of everyone. What a rush. Definitely one of the hardest platforming challenges I've ever done, especially on stream. Which, if you're interested, I'll put a link to the edited highlights of that day down in the description for you. Because while I'm gathering this footage, I am not beating the perfect run today. I am far too lazy for that. Just go watch the video highlights. It'll be fine. Anyway, I love this style of Mario game. You know, like Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and of course Galaxy 1 and 2. But I don't think anything in any of those will ever compare to the first time I beat the perfect run. And I'll be honest, picking the order to put these accomplishments in on this list was hard. And even as I'm saying these words, part of me wants to move the orders around. But I'm happy. Happy I was able to take the idea of this video and make it a reality. And I'm happy I was able to share some of these experiences with you. I know some of them are more impressive than others, and some of them probably seem a little silly, but I hope you can at least see why they made it on the list. I hope you enjoyed the journey through old memories and new ones. I certainly had a blast making the video. And if you're new here and you made it all the way to the end of the video, I hope you'll consider hitting the subscribe button and maybe sharing it with your friends. We like meeting new people. And a quick shout out to my Patreon and Twitch supporters. Without you, I wouldn't be able to make videos like this. And if you want to support the YouTube channel, you can do so over on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. There's also YouTube memberships if that's more your thing. Anyway, enough shilling. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video.